That's the man right there. Never forget that. Hey, pay attention. It is September 9th, 2013. This is a Raw review of the Raw that just happened, obviously. Let's get right into it. The show starts off with Edge. Edge starts to show out. It's the cutting edge, and he's like, "Oh, they wanted me to have Randy Orton out here to have the reunion of Rated RKO, which would have been the best idea that Edge ever had." But he says, "I changed my mind. I'm not gonna have Orton. I'm gonna have Daniel Bryan instead." So Daniel Bryan comes out in the crowd because it's Canada, so they're just playing along. They're just happy to be alive. They come out there, and he says he's gonna beat Randy Orton. And we all just laugh. And then Randy Orton interrupts. Obviously, he had to. You can't let this nonsense go on. I mean, people are watching. He basically comes out and just says, "Screw Canada," is basically what he says. And then they go back and forth for a while. Triple H ends up coming out. All praise to Triple H. We're all witnesses of Triple H. He basically says, "Hey, Edge, you never drew a dime, so what are you talking about? Just Daniel Bryan's not going to amount to anything. You didn't. This is the guy, Randy Orton." And he announces Daniel Bryan versus Dean Ambrose for the main event. The Shield will be in Ambrose's corner, and Big Show will be in Daniel Bryan's. And he basically says, "Hey, it's easy to talk tough when you have medical problems and one can come out and kick your ass." But he's like, "Hey, if I can't hurt you, maybe I can hurt the people you love." And then the Shield brings out Christian all beat up, and I said, "Thank you. Oh, we are here." And then, so that's the end of that segment. Then you get Edge backstage with the Shield, Triple H, and he basically says if he ever gets cleared, he'd fight Triple H. Triple H says, "Well, guess what? We all know that you're never going to get cleared, so take your tough guy talk somewhere else." And he basically kicks him out because he had to go film shit for Haven or something. Then we get Kofi versus Curtis Axel. Curtis Axel gets disqualified in this match, ends up catching a Trouble in Paradise after the match. Paul Heyman basically saying, "Hey, you can't let that happen on Sunday, because if that happens on Sunday, you get DQ'd. Boom. CM Punk gets his hands on me." So building towards that segment. Then you get backstage. You got Heyman apparently slipping on a puddle of water, and he's injured, so they say that they're going to have to look at it with the doctor. Then Booker T and Big Show backstage. Booker T giving some motivational speeches, dog. "I know you're going to want to be a hero tonight, Big Show. But trust me on this one. Trust me. You got to lay low." Gotta love Booker T. And then I would say, how the mighty have fallen, but he never really was that mighty, unfortunately for him and us. But Dolph Ziggler versus Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt gets the win here. This is just what Dolph Ziggler is now. He just gets beat every week by different people. Bray Wyatt still terrifies me. We need to get him and the Wyatt family as additional bodyguards with the Shield for the champ, because that would just be a good idea. Then you got Paul Heyman, Curtis Axel, and this doctor guy in the ring, and he basically says, "Hey, I have my own doctor, and he says I can't go, so I'm withdrawing myself from competition," which brings out the Lord, Brad Maddox. It goes Scott Disick, Brad Maddox in supporting roles. He basically says, "We're going to have you checked out by the official WWE doctor," and the doctor gives him a evaluation, says he seems fine. Punk comes out, and Heyman just runs away. He's healed. He is healed. Heyman gets out of there. CM Punk attacks the doctor with a kendo stick. It was just funny to me. I don't know. Then we get the Total Divas cast. The Funkadactyls, Natalya against Oksana, Alicia, and Layla. AJ Lee was on commentary. The Total Divas cast wins, obviously, and gives AJ a stare down. "We're gonna fight you," and he's just like, "Get shit out of here." Then we got to a part of the show where I just didn't care a lot. Did not care for a lot of segments in a row. R-Truth versus Alberto Del Rio. No. Del Rio wins. I'm not going to go into this. Seb Coulter and Antonio Cesaro out there cutting a promo. He faces a returning Santino. Santino gets the win. Okay. Damian Sandow versus The Miz. This I approved of. You know why? Because the face lost off of distraction. The face didn't overcome the distraction like always. Oh my god, it's crazy how that works. Sandow wins, distraction by Fandango, and the crowd just loved it. You know, everyone's waiting for the crowd to be like, oh, boo, Fandango, you cost the Miz. And the crowd's like, fuck you. We fucking hate the Miz. And then it's just a good time. Then you get Goldust backstage. He's doing his whole getting ready, and then Triple H interrupts, and he's like, hey, buddy, you must be under a lot of pressure right now, you know what I mean? Because, you know, you got your brother, your family name is on the line, the fans want you to win, you got a lot of pressure, so good luck. Oh, Triple H, you crazy bastard. And then we get Randy Orton versus Goldust. Goldust gave a valiant effort. I'm not going to act like Goldust didn't give a valiant effort. Well, let's be honest, he had 0% chance. Randy Orton wins with the RKO. Afterwards, Orton talks about how he shattered Goldust's dream of helping his brother. He's going to shatter Daniel Bryan's dreams at Night of Champions. Can't wait. And then we get Goldust backstage crying. He looks ridiculous. His face paint's everywhere. I'm just like, oh my god. And Stephanie basically calls him a loser and says, you, get out of here. Get out of here. So then she gets out of here. Shout out to Michael Vick on the TV, though. Michael Vick is definitely part of the Randy Orton crew. Randy Orton, Michael Vick, match made. Yeah, so then you got RVD versus Ryback. Thank God. RVD only wins by DQ because Ryback whooped that ass. That's the only way I accept Rob Van Dam getting victories, is via ass whooping to Rob Van Dam so bad that the ref felt bad and said, God, you 50-year-old balding son of a bitch, I feel bad for you. I can't let this go on anymore. Get your ass in the back and find some goddamn hair growth supplements. So Ryback beats him down after the match as well. In a match of what the hell am I going to do? RVD versus Del Rio on Sunday? No clue. And then basically Stephanie backstage is saying, Big Show, you can't touch the Shield. That's all it was. Main event time, Dean Ambrose versus Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan, it was a long match. If you're into, you know, that kind of match, it was good. If you're not, you watched football. But Daniel Bryan wins via submission. Randy Orton comes out. Bryan goes right after him. It's a suicide dive. But Shield comes over and helps Randy Orton. Not that he needed it, but he didn't have the chance to tell them now. Randy Orton hits an RKO on Bryan. Triple H comes out and says, Big Show, you know, get back in there. Knock Daniel Bryan out. And he goes in there and he won't do it, so Orton's yelling at him. He's like, I'll hold him up for you. Holds him up for him. He still won't. Won't do it. Daniel Bryan comes in, hits a knee to Randy Orton's face out of nowhere, and then gets a yes chant going, and he holds up the belt, which we're going to need to get washed now because it's beard germs seep through onto hand and is just dirty now. Absolutely ridiculous. All you Daniel Bryan fans all excited about this. All this is the age-old thing. Randy Orton whipped thy ass. Randy Orton whooped thy ass. Randy Orton kicked thy ass. And then right before the pay-per-view, they have to let Daniel Bryan go over because whoever goes over on the go-home show loses. And there it was. So on Sunday, Randy Orton can kick thy ass once more. That's all it was, so don't get too excited. Like, oh, Daniel Bryan, he finally got one over on the champion. He didn't. He didn't. It's just the way it goes. It's just the way it goes. If Randy Orton would have went over every single Raw, hey, whoever gets over on the go-home show loses, so have your moment, Daniel Bryan. So yeah, that's all. That's all for this show. Daniel Bryan's a dirty cheater. He's gonna get what's coming to him on Sunday. Make sure you check out Schleg Daddy's review. Make sure you check out Chase Oliver's review. Marvelous Mark. If he does anything, check him out. Don't watch anybody else's because it doesn't matter. So yeah, do that. Watch all those. Supper Club, baby. We in here. Put over nobody is what I always say. Fuck this fly is what the other thing I'd say. See you on Sunday, boys and girls.